Now, as annoying as you and I know, Kamala Harris, Kamala Harris is, she recently went on Jon Stewart show, and he's the host of The Daily Show. And when she went on there, she blew this man away with her answers. Now, you may not have seen these clips, or you may have, but in this video, I'm going to show them to you. But I'm also going to show you just how two-sided Jon Stewart is, because you could tell the man got sense. He knows what's going on. But then it's like he has to play to this Democrat angle as if he hasn't made enough money. I don't know what it is that the Democrat Party has on him, Bill Maher, these guys that kind of show you that they really got it. They want to break through, even Stephen A. Smith sometimes. But then all of a sudden, it's almost like the network or somebody yanks their cord and pulls them right back in line. Next thing you know, they're spewing more Democrat propaganda. Now, in this video, Kamala Harris goes on somewhat of a tear. And Jon Stewart is going to ask her questions, and the responses that she gives really lets us know the bullet that we dodged in 2024, and let us know what to watch out for as we head to 2028. Because like it, hate it, Gavin Newsom and Kamala Harris will be running for president in 2028. And if we don't keep our foot on the gas, we go right back to where America was falling off a cliff. So I know a lot of people like say, oh, I can't take listening to Democrats. How can you know how to defeat your opponent if you don't know what their strategies are? So in this first clip, well, as you see here in this article, Kamala Harris surprises Jon Stewart with claim that Biden was competent to serve second term. Now, in this clip, he's talking to Ken Martin, and Ken Martin is the DNC chair. So he's the head of the DNC, and he's talking about Kamala Harris. And this is prior to Jon Stewart's interview with her. But just listen to some of the points that he's bringing up, and then we're going to get into her disastrous interview with him. Check this out.
The reason we've lost trust is because people don't believe that we actually believe the shit we're selling them. That we're telling them what they want to hear.
To my point in the book, when she says, I didn't go with Pete Buttigieg because he's gay, and that'd be too far. And you're like, oh my God, it's actually reverse affirmative action. Well, it's like, what?
Yeah, but I think the point here is that you have to be an authentic and credible messenger. And it's not authenticity. Yes, that's the new buzzword. But now you got people, it's the same thing with, people want to show. The reason we've lost.
So as you see, they're talking about in her 107 Days book, where Kamala Harris said out loud that, yeah, she didn't pick Pete Buttigieg, who was the failed transportation secretary, to be her VP because he was a gay dude. Now, Democrats love identity politics, and they go crazy for trans and go crazy for gay people. But all of a sudden, when she was running her campaign, she couldn't walk it like she talking. So it shows just how fake these demon rats are. But check out Jon Stewart as he pokes a little fun at her. And then I'm going to get right into her clips. Check this out.
As an undecided, it's basically me and 6 people who were kicked in the head by very powerful horses. I've been leaning towards Kamala Harris because of her impressive resume and her ability to switch from Indian to black. Like that. Like that.
So even he knew how fake she was. It wasn't a secret. People knew this lady was an Indian woman, and then all of a sudden switched to black. And this is her as she gets ready for her interview with him. It's not really her, as you know, but let's get off into this. Check this clip out of Kamala Harris with Jon Stewart.
He convinced the Democrats that the system needs to be disrupted enough so that a person that's going to build a ballroom to the disadvantage of people on SNAP, and we're conflating, it's obviously not the same money, but you're looking at, obviously the vision of it.
But John, let's talk about $20 billion going to Argentina.
Now, I'm glad that she pointed that out. You may have heard about this. President Trump sending $20 billion to Argentina. Do you know what that was? Let me show you. We sent $20 billion to Argentina in a currency swap. We didn't give them anything. We did that. We gave them 20 billion. They gave us their currency in exchange. That 20 billion helped maintain and prop up Viktor Orban's Argentina, who they call the Argentinian Trump. He's a strong right winger. He's all about getting rid of illegal immigrants. So we didn't give $20 billion to Argentina. This is the lie that they play on ignorant and uninformed voters. We did a currency swap with Argentina. And let's talk about the ballroom that people love to bring up. That ballroom was funded with President Trump's own money and with private donors' money. Nothing to do with the taxes. Nothing to do with tax money. Unlike Barack Obama, who spent $370 million of taxpayer money to put a basketball court at the White House. President Trump, and how many of our U.S. presidents do you think went out and shot hoops? The first black one was the one that went out there and had to put a full court in it. That's what helped him get elected. He was smoking a Newport, shooting a left-hand jumper. Black people said, oh, it was like when Bill Clinton played the saxophone on the Arsenio Hall show back in the day. Oh, black people used to literally say Bill Clinton was the first black president. And I would look, even then, and I was a Democrat back then, I would be like, what? But President Trump's ballroom, which came in $50 million under budget and was funded with private money. But they don't like to talk about this. See, what the Democrats do, they take something truthful, but then they spin it. It's like, we did give $20 billion to Argentina, but what they're not saying is it was a currency swap. So I just wanted to let that be known, just in case you hear somebody else say that ignorant crap, you know how to check them. No, we didn't give them anything. It was an exchange.
Argentina, right.
And it cost $8 billion to keep SNAP going for poor children?
Right.
Come on.
$8 billion a month. Do you know a study came out and it showed that like 59% of our welfare recipients are non-Americans? Just food for thought.
Taxpayer dollars, by the way.
Right. When I think about like your campaign, right? Have we lost sight that the old rules don't apply? You've got a great thing in there. I think David Plouffe said to you at some point, he said, you got to nail 4 things. You got to nail the rollout. Right. You got to nail your debate. You got to nail your convention speech. And you got to nail, I think there was one other thing, might have been your VP or.
Yeah.
And so, but by all measures, you nailed every one of those.
If you enjoyed this video, do me a solid, hit that thumbs up, because I will never ask you for a cash app or a super chat, but you hitting that like button, it really helps get the video out there. And if you aren't subscribed to the channel, subscribe. And whether you're subscribed already or subscribing now, make sure that you hit the notification bell and select all. YouTube has issues getting notifications out, but when you select notifications and hit all, YouTube will make sure that you get notified when I upload new videos.
You just did that convention speech, the debate, the rollout, the enthusiasm. You literally changed the dynamic in people's minds so that you felt that surge of possibility and excitement and joy. You nailed all of those status quo conventional mileposts that they would put out for a candidate to be successful. And it wasn't. And is that consultant status quo establishment complex also part of when you talk about the status quo fighting back? It's not just coming from outside the house, it's coming from inside the house. And aren't we ready for the kind of disruption that reimagines this so that we don't find ourselves in this situation again? Because it's so hard to get any sense of people taking responsibility for that.
There are real shortcomings and flaws in how we're doing politics right now and how we're running campaigns. I give you that. When we look at 2024, at least when we look at those 107 days, I think we have to distinguish that between what was leading up to those 107 days, right? I do believe one of the biggest factors that was at play in the 107 days, we just didn't have enough time. We didn't have enough time.
Or was it too much time? I mean, if you had done the election after 60 days, I think you win. Honestly.
That is a slap in her face. She said, I didn't have enough time, because that's her shtick. You had 107 days, not to mention you were the freaking VP. You weren't some new person coming out of nowhere that people don't know. And I can't stand when she gets up there and says this crap. Just like, oh, it was the closest race of the 21st century. No, it's not. This woman lies relentlessly. And like he just said, oh, maybe it was too much time. He thinks if the election would have happened in 60 days, she might have got it. And you know what? He's right. Because remember when they switched it and she got in, I'm talking about the entire machine was behind this incompetent woman. The same person who just a year earlier, they wanted her booted off the ticket because she was the weakling. She was the weak chain in the link. Then all of a sudden she came to grace. And for Jon Stewart to sit there and say, oh, you nailed everything. Those 4 tenets, they named off those things. And the 4th thing he said was picking the right VP. You notice he skipped over the tampon Tim part, right? Even he's full of it. Lefty propagandist, but every once in a while he shows that he got some sense.
There seemed like a stagnation point. And then if you look at the lines, it doesn't look like what would have changed.
Well, yeah, but there's so many variables that went into the outcome of that race, because you can also look at where you start to see an infusion of resources going into mis and disinformation. I talk about, for example, the Elon Musk factor in the book. You can look at that there were certain inflection points that had an impact on the race. And she's talking about the fact that Elon Musk buying X
turning it by Twitter, turning it into X, meaning that the government could no longer suppress this private company. Jack Dorsey was weak and was in the pocket of the government. He ran off with his hundreds of millions of dollars and is living his best life. Zuckerberg also succumbed to the Biden administration. YouTube, I'll tell you right now, there are still videos right now that if I put Trump's name in the title, it seems like it doesn't get out there as well. Misinformation, huh? I want to give a big shout out to the sponsor of this video, Chapter. And here's why. When my mom hit 65 years old, I watched her get bombarded with mailers, cold calls, and all these confusing ads about Medicare. And every single company pretended like they wanted to help her, but really they were just trying to sell her stuff. It seemed like the game was rigged and she was not supposed to win at all. And that's why I'm so excited to share information about Chapter with all of you. Now, who Chapter is? Chapter is a free Medicare advisory service that compares Medicare plans available, and they give you real, unbiased guidance. Chapter is completely independent and always puts customers first. Their whole focus is all about making sure that their customers, the seniors, get the right Medicare plan. And it's clear that they're making a real difference in the lives of seniors. So if you want real, unbiased help with Medicare, give Chapter a call at 402-527-1253. You'll talk to a real person who will help you figure out exactly which plan is right for you and has saved the average senior $1,000 a year. So I'm going to put the number here on the screen for you to be able to contact, or if you visit the website, go to askchapter.org/realpolitics.
Her point, it was, as David Plouffe said, it was those traditional inflection points, and there were others. So I don't want to reduce what we need to do going forward to any one factor around what we could have done better, what I could have done better in those 107 days, what was happening before. I think there are a multitude of factors that all need to be addressed, including, again, in particular, the prevalence of mis and disinformation, and our need to do better around.
I can't take it anymore. Have you noticed that when she be talking, she's like, yeah, you know, I do this and around. She has this thing where she talks and then she like speeds up the words or something like that. And I don't understand really what that's about. But let's get off into this other clip of hers. Now, in this one, they're talking about the healthcare system. Check out this bold-faced lie she's going to tell. And then I'm going to show you the fact, because the Democrats have been touting this. Joe Biden even touted this. And again, ignorant people or people that are too busy to really know what the truth is fall for this hook, line, and sinker, but not us. Check this out.
Which includes, for example, the affordability of prescription medication. We pushed for a $35 cap on insulin, which had a huge impact on so many people. We wanted to do it, we did it for seniors. We wanted to do it for everyone. We couldn't get the support of Republicans in Congress.
Now, you just heard her say that, right? They know that's a bold-faced lie. Because right here, here's an article from May 26th of 2020 by PBS, Left-Wing Radical Network. Trump announces deal to reduce insulin prices for seniors. And let me blow this up for you, because as you see, it was May of 2020, which means Trump wasn't going to be in office for much longer when it got introduced. And you look right here, Medicare recipients who pick a drug plan offering the new insulin benefit would pay a maximum of $35 a month starting next year, an estimated savings of $446 a year. So when they tout this insulin crap, that is a lie. Just like the whole HBCUs. President Trump had gave the largest endowment to HBCUs ever. The Biden administration came in and increased it over here so they could say it. And Trump just crushed it, knocked it out the park this term. But they literally jump up and they steal stuff. They steal it and they have no shame about it, while she's sitting up there telling this bold-faced lie to the American public.
Right.
But again, so it speaks to incremental change. I guess my point is,
which is never satisfying.
Yeah, that's right.
It's never satisfying to say we've got to be incremental. And I'm not advocating incrementalism, but until we win back majorities in the Senate and the House and take the White House, that may just be where we are. And it's not where we should be. And it should not satisfy us that we have accomplished incremental change. We should be completely pissed off about that.
I just can't believe the lies that these people like to tell. And the coup de grace here, I want you to check out as she talks about what they feel, what Democrats believe the government's role should be. Check this out.
To fascism.
Oh, that's interesting.
You know, are the Democrats reconciling with the dissatisfaction that people perceive with government's performance rating as it relates to their lives?
So I agree with you that one of the biggest problems that we have right now, and to your point, gets back to the trust issue, is do the people believe that government is actually meeting their needs? Do the people believe that government is even responsive to their fears and their dreams, even if it falls short, right?
And the Democrats are the party that believe, and so they have a special responsibility here. They're the party that believes government has a role to play in improving the conditions of their lives. The Republicans are selling a product they don't believe in.
Right.
But Democrats aren't. So how does that square?
We need to do better.
Oh.
I mean, this is.
I guess we're done.
We do. I mean,
He said, "Oh, I guess we're done now." As you just heard him just admit, Democrats truly believe that the government should make the decisions, everything and every aspect of people's lives, what you watch, what you wear, what you eat. This is literally what these people want. And you got ignorant people that have no idea what type of environment that actually is and what type of impact that will have on the American public, on the country as a whole. And it's people like her that we have to keep as far away as we possibly can from the White House, from the Senate, and from the House ever again. Because their desire, they're just gut-wrenching belief that government can fix anything is the worst thing that could happen. Because as we know, as history has shown us, the only thing government is good at doing when it comes to business is jacking it up, period. Because you got a whole bunch of politicians, like look at New York. Mamdani has never even had a job and is the front runner to be mayor of one of the biggest cities in the country, if not the world. So he's never done a budget. He's never managed people. And that's also why President Trump does such a phenomenal job when he takes over. Just like presidents in the past, when the country was building and going and growing, you had businessmen, you had military war generals that ran the country because they were used to leading people. They were used to balancing budgets. They were used to dealing with high stressful situations. It could stay as calm as they needed to be and make rash decisions. But now we got a whole bunch of emotional, non-work ethic educated politicians that are out here trying to be the big shot and call the shots, sitting on their Eiffel Towers of government, which is exactly why President Trump is gutting the government, because it's too inflated. Reagan wanted it down. Bush wanted it down. Every president has wanted to trim back government except for Democrats. They bloated. It's like Joe Biden's job growth. Do you know that I think it was 80% of the jobs that were gained under this man's tenure were federal government jobs? But I just wanted to bring you this video on Kamala Harris when she went on Jon Stewart. And it was just nuts to me. So if you hung out and you watched it up to this point, I really do appreciate it. Make sure you hit the like button. I want to thank you from the top and bottom of my heart. If you aren't subscribed to the channel, subscribe. And like always, make sure that you stay safe and you be great. I'm Brian Maxwell saying I look forward to seeing you at the top. Over and out, y'all.